Hello all. So here in this session, we are going to understand about single, dual and blended axis. Again, the discussion is going to be on axis. So what are the different ways in what different ways we can actually make use of the axis so that your visualization is going to be, really, really useful for you. Okay, because most of the people who are working with visualization are not somebody who is trying to do certain things for themselves, but it will be something related to an organization, or it is something which is related to a business. So naturally what happens is that how better is the visualization is, better is going to be the business, better is going to be the performance of an organization. So in that context, to make a better visualization, we have understood many of we are actually uh, entangling different kind of features which is available in Tableau, which will essentially going to make your visualization really, really not only beautiful, but also, informative. So in that context, we are going to discuss about the single, dual, and the blended axis as well. So taking this into consideration, the scenario is simple. Okay, so assume that you are into education business, and in the education business, you are successfully running the school for nearly maybe last 5 years. Your school is running successfully. This year you are expecting some kind of admissions, and what came as a surprise for you is that the admissions which you expected, say for example, I expected my admissions to be 100 for this year, and it was nearly half. Okay, so there was a dramatic decrement with the number of admissions which has been made in this year. When this has happened to your educational institution, admissions are somebody, like, who is going to be the bread for many people. So naturally, when the admissions are getting reduced, the company or the organization need to spend a lot of time to understand why the admissions went down. So if they will try to identify why the admissions went down, they will have to look in multiple factors. One of the factor that they wanted to look up would be definitely the fee structure. So how this fees has gradually changed from the past since the starting of the year to till now, what are the changes that has happened with the fee structure, and whether this fee structure is going to have a impact on the admissions or not. They wanted to identify that. So in the process of identifying this, they are getting inside some kind of visualization. So the reason why I told you this scenario is because you have to understand that in case if the admissions is reducing for the school, when they have to do a visualization and then they try to identify why there is a very less admission in the school, they have to consider multiple measures. Okay, one such measure which I spoke about was fees. Okay, again, in the fees itself, they should have to consider uh, the previous fees, and then currently what fees is there. So two different axes they need to deal with. Okay, so in whenever you have a situation where you need to compare multiple measures in a single view. Okay, in a single view you wanted to compare multiple measures, these kind of examples, what to do. Okay, does Tableau help me to come up with a single view with multiple measures? Okay, so this is what is the point of discussion today. And I'm going to show you the different ways that you can use it to get multiple measures in a single view. Okay, so as you know very well, clearly you know that, let us get inside our Tableau environment. So this is the situation, we have understood the situation. Now let's get inside our Tableau environment. As you could see, already we are having our superstore example in place, right? So now what is the point is that you need to understand first of all what is the meaning of an individual axis for each measure. Okay, simple. For individual access, what I'm going to do is order date is already there, okay, in the columns. So let me put two things in my rows. One is my sales, which is very often we will use it. We were using it. And other one is probably we will keep the profit. Okay, two measures are there. One is my sales is my one measure, and profit is my one more measure. Okay, so these are the two measures which is there. And what I wanted to do is that, suppose in case if I will, let me just remove this for now. Okay, if I have removed this, what you're getting here, so this is what is supposed to be the axis. Okay, so this is the axis for a single measure. So no problem with a single measure, because you can identify, like, you can put this type of setup and single measure, absolutely no problem. Okay, so but why I showed you is this, because you need to understand this is the meaning of a measure. Okay, now that in case if you wanted to include your profit also, okay, let me just put the profit also. Now what is happening here is that the order date, which is in your column session, right, this is a discrete data dimension. Okay, it's a data dimension, and it's a date dimension, and it is a discrete in nature. So just because of the reason it is discrete in nature, you do not find any kind of axis here. If you see here, you don't have an axis here. Rather, this is going to be, this is the axis and this is not an axis, just because it is a discrete dimension. Okay, so this will actually create a header. So the header it has created is an order date. Okay, so there is no axis. So we have put two measures here. One is sum of sales and sum of profit. For both of them, we have a separate measures. Okay, now what I wanted to know is that two measures, it is showing in two different scales. It is not looking visually appealing, and also it is not making any meaning for me. Okay, so what I wanted to do is that I just wanted to make these two axes. Okay, it needs to be blended. Okay, so these two measures needs to be blended, and then I have to see a single plane. Okay, I have to see a single visualization in a pane. Okay, that's what I wanted to do it. Okay, so for example, if you put on this measure values, okay, and let me just remove these things. Okay, so these two things I'll remove it. Okay, so what you can see is that, instead of adding your rows and the columns, no, you can actually use measure values. See here, this is actually a blended measures, which is there in a single row or column. Okay, so this way you could probably do that. Okay, measure values, you can use it. Okay, and here you can instead of here I can put my sales and my let me put this in marks card, sales, and then let me just put this profit also. And sales, let me just do the color coding here. Okay, so these things can be done. Okay, so blending measures uses the measure names actually, and also the measure value fields. Okay, so this is one way. This blending the axis is something which you can actually do it if you wanted to see everything in a single pane. Okay, like, we wanted to blend multiple measures. You can actually uh, if one more way I'll show you. Okay, let me just remove this. Okay, let us keep sum of sales. Okay, and then let me just keep the profit on top of it. Okay, okay, so this way also, I mean, this is still, it is not showing as, let me just remove this. So you have a sum of sales, this is getting displayed like this. Okay, so yeah, so this is one more way you can actually do it. And probably let me just keep the measure values. Yeah, measure values, I'll keep it here. Okay, yeah, so this is the way we can do the blending. Okay, this is fine. Now One more way is there, which you can actually put two axes in a single pane, you can leave it. What you can do is that there is something called as a dual axis. Okay, so let me just remove all of these things. Okay, then what I have is, let me just put the profit, and also I'm just going to put the sales. Okay, two things are there. Okay, now what I can do is that just I can yeah, I can just click on. Okay, okay, so I just can do a dual axis basically. Okay, so what I can do is, let me just put the segment here. Okay, so where yeah, so what you can do is that one more thing that we can do, like we can actually make use of multiple measures using dual axis. Okay, so this dual axis, what it will try to do means, it will actually try to uh, I mean, it will try to layer upon top of each other. Okay, so two measures, when you have two different scales, then you can actually put uh, a dual axis basically. Okay, so we have our row shelf here, right? So let's put the dual axis here. Okay, see here. So now you can actually have your dual axis, and then you can actually um, go ahead and perform the synchronizing axis. All of these things could be done. Okay, so this is one way you can actually make use of your dual axis. So these two are different, right? Your the scale and the scale is actually different. Okay, so if you have to, you know, make these scales again uniformly, if you wanted to make it, and you can just go to your edit axis and then just give a synchronized dual axis. So that will help you to get the same scale. Okay, so this is one more way which you can use it to have two different measures in a single pane for comparison purpose. That's where we started, right? So our school is having two different fee structure, and we wanted to do a comparison, and we wanted two different measures in a single pane. So that's what we are trying to do it. Even with the blended axis, we try to do the same thing. Here in dual axis also, you can perform the same thing and synchronize the axis so that both the things same scale is there. Okay, so these are different ways that you can use it in order to have multiple measures in a single pane, single view. If you wanted to have in multiple measures, you can make use of these three options. Blending the two measures to just to share an axis, you can blend it, or otherwise you can add the dual axis. So that's all I have for this session. Hope you understood the different types of axis and what are the things that you can perform to make your visualization better. So see you in one more session. Thank you.